Hi everyone, I'm Erin Leishley. I'm a certified EFT practitioner, and today I'm going to be guiding you through an EFT practice all around clearing the blocks to manifesting. So this video is for you if there's something that you have been intending, that you've been setting goals for, that you've been wanting to manifest for quite some time, or maybe it's a new goal, but you're kind of feeling like you're not quite aligned to it, it's not really flowing, you're feeling a little bit resistant to it for some reason. So we're going to use EFT to dive deeper into that and to really clear that resistance, that fear, that doubt, so that you can bring yourself back into alignment with what it is that you want to call in. Because we know that, manifesting is not just about shouting something out to the universe and kind of hoping that it comes back in. It really is a process of conscious creation, and it's all about your energy aligning to that of which you want to call in. And that could be a career change, it could be financial abundance, it could be a new relationship, new friendships, a pet. It could really be anything that you're calling in, but you want to make sure that you are feeling as open and as in the flow as possible so that you are kind of open to receiving those things. Okay. And it's not just about, thinking positive and kind of slapping a bit of like a positive or optimistic view on what it is that you're wanting to call in. It's really about clearing out that stuff that is in the back of your mind, those limiting beliefs, those subconscious thoughts that might be pulling you out of alignment. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be about. And there's, a few things that we will tap through that we'll target, but I'm going to get you to do some journaling in a moment as well to really make sure that this video is as specific for you as possible. So, as always, make sure that you have a glass of water nearby. Do not do what I just did a moment ago and knock it over. And also, I want you to have a journal with you too. We're going to go into some questions in a moment. So before that though, let's take a moment, take a breath. Let's close down the eyes, get really comfortable. Maybe this is the first time you've really stopped today, so let's just take a few deep breaths in together. So breathing in through the nose and letting it go. And taking another deep breath through the nose and letting it go. And then see if you can take the breath even deeper in through the nose and letting it go. And then coming back to your natural breath. Settling in here. Noticing how you're feeling today in the body, in the mind. If there's any points of tension in the body, just noting them here. And then when you feel ready, you can blink open the eyes and grab your journal, because we're going to start with a few questions today to go through. So I'll tell you what I want you to journal, and then I'll get you to pause and then we'll come into the tapping after that. So the first thing I would like you to write down in your journal is, what is your intention? What is a thing or things that you have been manifesting or trying to manifest? And maybe close down your eyes and have a moment to visualize and really think about what that is for you, but I want you to write it down. Then I want you to look at what you've written down. So that's the first thing, write down your intention. Then I want you to look at what you've written down and think, what are the feelings, thoughts, beliefs that come up when I look at this thing? So what is it, if my goal is to, what's a good goal? If my goal is to make $500 this week, well, do I feel any resistance to that happening? So when I say resistance, that could be doubt, it could be fear, it could be a fear of disappointment, it could be a memory that you've had where, you tried to manifest $500 last month and it didn't happen. Whatever it is, notice that and note that down. And maybe there are some emotions that are coming up around that as well. And they could be things like frustration or sadness or angry, or just overwhelmed. Okay. Once you've done those two things, I then want you to look at the feelings, the thoughts, whatever it is that's come up, and rank it out of 10. How strong is this resistance? How strong is this doubt? How strong is this fear out of 10? 10 being really strong, really resistant, 0 being non-existent resistance, in the flow, feeling good. Okay? So just to recap, what is your intention? What are the feelings, emotions, thoughts, beliefs that come up around that intention? And then how strong is that resistance and doubt? Okay, that's going to really help us as we go through this practice. So pause the video and come back in a moment once you've done that. And then we're going to start tapping. So just taking a look at what you've written down, really kind of feeling it. And I also want you to notice if you feel anything in the body, okay? So often we can kind of like hold these tension points in the body. So for me personally, I always tend to hold a bit of resistance in my chest, a bit of heaviness in my chest when I'm kind of feeling a bit nervous about something. Sometimes people get pressure headaches, you could get tension in the shoulders, you could feel like sick or nauseous. These are all things that come up in the body, and they're just signs that we're holding on to something and we're going to clear it, okay? So enough talking, let's get tapping. So going to the side of the hand on the first point here on the karate chop point. Let's take a few more deep breaths in. And then you're gonna repeat after me. Even though I feel all this resistance to receiving what I want, I acknowledge this resistance I feel, and I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've been holding on to all this fear, I feel this fear in my body. It's uncomfortable, but I'm acknowledging it now, and I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've been disappointed in the past, and part of me thinks I'm going to be disappointed again now, I feel this in my body, but I acknowledge how I feel now, and I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Beautiful. Going to the first tapping point on the top of the head. All this resistance I've been feeling. Eyebrow point. I know what I want, but I feel all this doubt. Side of the eye, this doubt that it's possible for me. Under the eye, I see all these other people receiving what they want, but it hasn't happened for me yet. Under the nose, will it ever happen for me? Under the mouth, I feel this doubt. Moving on to the collarbone, I want you to have a look at that list of feelings and emotions that you've written that are coming up for you. And I just want you to say some of them out loud. So for example, I feel sad, I feel bummed out, I feel frustrated, I feel angry. What is this resistance making you feel? I acknowledge this emotion now. Maybe I can start to let this go. I acknowledge this tension in my body. Maybe it's safe to release this tension. Beautiful. Under the arm, this remaining doubt. This resistance I've been feeling. Onto the ribs, I know what I want. I have this desire. I'm choosing to release any doubt that this is for me. Take a really deep breath in here and letting it go. Really good. Dropping the hands. Just taking a moment to tune in. Noticing, checking that number that you've written down in your journal, that number out of 10. Just sensing if there's been any shift. Has it gone up? Has it gone down? Has other emotions come up? You know, when we're tapping, often it's almost like an onion. Like there's this surface level of what we think we feel. Sometimes that can be like some optimistic stuff we've slapped on top, but underneath that could be these layers of fear, overwhelm, disappointment, sadness. So as we tap, we kind of like gradually pulling back these layers. Just trust that as you go through it, as you clear these layers, as you clear these waves, you'll start to feel more calm. Okay, so we'll get there. So let's go back to the top of the head. Acknowledging where you're at, acknowledging where it is in the body, staying really conscious of that as we're tapping through. This fear I've been feeling. Eyebrow point, this fear is taking up all of this space. Side of the eye, this fear has been draining my energy. Under the eye, this fear of not receiving what I want. Under the nose, and maybe this fear of receiving what I want. Under the mouth, how will I cope with it when I've got it? Maybe that's been holding me back. Onto the collarbone. I acknowledge all of this fear now. Maybe I feel this fear in my body, but maybe I can start to let this fear go. Choosing to release this fear now. Under the arm. All of this resistance to receiving what I'd like. This desire that I have. Maybe it's forming onto the ribs, and I'm choosing to release this fear and this doubt. And I'm creating the space to call in what I truly desire. Really good. Dropping the hands. Taking another check in, another breath in, maybe moving the body around a little bit. Shaking out the arms. And then we're going to keep going and do another round, so top of the head. This feeling of past disappointment. Eyebrow point. In the past, it hasn't worked for me. Side of the eye. So part of me believes it won't work now. Under the eye. I just want you to sense, where in the body do you feel any past disappointments of failure? Just feeling into that. Maybe saying out loud where you feel any tension. Just whatever comes to mind. Under the nose, this past disappointment. It's been holding me back. Under the mouth, I'm stuck on this point of what's happened before. Onto the collarbone, but I'm acknowledging that now. I'm choosing to trust in this desire. And I'm releasing any past disappointment or shame that I might be feeling. Maybe it's possible for me. Maybe the past doesn't matter. I'm releasing this disappointment. Under the arm, this emotion I'm feeling. In my body, I'm choosing to let this go now. Onto the ribs, it's safe for me to let go of past disappointment and hurt. I'm aligning to a new energy, to my higher self, to my future self. It's safe for me to let my past go. Really good. Dropping the hands, just taking another deep breath in and a bit of a stretch. Again, looking at that number that you've written down out of 10 around the resistance to receiving, to manifesting, the blocks that you've been coming up against. See if you can sense if there's any shift in that number. You might also notice that the feeling in the body might move around. So as we're shifting this energy, maybe you had something in your chest and it started to come up out your throat, or down your arms, kind of up here. It's funny what the body can do, but just stick with it and just acknowledge it. So what we're going to do for this next round is I'm just going to tap through the points. We're going to do some breathing and some visualizing, and I just want you to focus on whatever's coming up in the body and the emotions, and then also what I'm saying to you as well. Okay? So going to the top of the head. You don't have to say anything here. In fact, you can close your eyes if that's more comfortable for you. I want you to take a really deep breath in, right down as deep as you can into the belly, and letting it go with a really big sigh. Moving on to the eyebrow point, I want you to tune in to see any of that remaining resistance if it's in the body. Just notice what's coming up for you. And onto the side of the eye. I just want you to think, I'm feeling this fear because why? Why are you feeling this fear or resistance? Just staying present with whatever comes up as we move below the eye. Maybe you feel like you've been holding yourself back a little bit. And just ask yourself, why is that? Why have I been doing that? Moving onto the nose, just sitting with any doubt, any remaining resistance that's coming up. Maybe you can picture it somewhere in the body. Under the mouth, and start to use the breath to soften that space. And creating more space in the body, more space with your breath, feeling more relaxed and at ease and aligned. And moving on to the collarbone point, I want you to imagine yourself getting what you want, receiving what you want, soaking up all that abundance, all that joy, all that freedom, all that love, all that magic. And just notice how that feels in your body. Can you tap into that feeling of receiving? Can you have gratitude for yourself for even putting this desire out there into the universe? Moving on to the under the arm. I want you to take some deep breaths in and enjoy this energy, this new space that you've created. Really zone in on this feeling of you when you receive this manifestation, this thing that you're calling in. Onto the ribs and repeating after me. It is possible for me. I am releasing this doubt and this fear. I'm choosing to feel more grateful It is safe for me to receive. Really good. Dropping the hands. Take a really deep breath in and letting it go. I'm going to do one more round, and that is just to ground in this new energy that we have created. If you are still feeling a little bit resistant, a little bit doubtful, maybe some stuff is coming up, I'd encourage you to take to your journal, write a little bit more about your fear or anything that's popped up about, like these blocks that you can see between you and receiving what you want. Because the more that you acknowledge these fears and release them, the more space there is for that receivership, for you to call in, receive what it is that you're calling in. So if your resistance or doubt is still above a 3, maybe a 4, I would go back and do a few more rounds on whichever round felt most relevant for you. However, if you are feeling a lot less resistant, a lot more open, you are welcome to do this final round just to ground in a positive energy. So let's go to the top of the head and take a really deep breath in and letting it go. Repeating after me. It is safe for me to create what I want. Onto the eyebrow. I am magnetic. Side of the eye. I feel joy. Under the eye, and through this joy, I am a lightning rod for abundance. Under the nose, I feel all this gratitude for all I have. I have gratitude for myself and for this desire. Onto the collarbone, I'm feeling so much more positive, so much more aligned. I'm excited about calling in this big vision. Under the arm, I have all this clarity now. I'm feeling so much calmer. Onto the ribs, it is safe for me to receive what I want. I am clearing my blocks. I'm calling in what I want. It is safe and possible for me. Beautiful. Dropping the hands. Closing down the eyes, just taking a moment. Take a few deep breaths in. And I want you to visualize a color. And this color for you represents this energy of joy, gratitude, abundance, peace, all of these things you've created and cultivated in your practice today. And this color sits right in the center of your heart. And as you breathe in, this color starts to expand from your heart, across your shoulders, down each arm, down each hand, your fingers. The color goes up from your heart space up to your throat, the back of your neck, the back of your head, top of your head, cascades down the face, this beautiful color, this beautiful energy. And down from your heart, it also flows into your belly, to your solar plexus. The color spreads down into your pelvis, down each leg, into each foot, into each toe. This beautiful color is throughout your whole body now, integrating with every single cell. It's a beautiful, abundant, joyful, fun energy. Just know that even as you leave this space, this energy is with you, this beautiful color, this beautiful space you've cultivated within you. Just take a few deep breaths here, enjoying all the space you've created. And then when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, you can rub the hands together gently in front of you, creating some heat. And you can gently lay the hands, the fingers across the eyes, and blinking the eyes open behind the hands, and dropping the hands, coming back into the space whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you're feeling really juicy and abundant and fresh and clear. Take some time, if you have it, to maybe write a letter to yourself or do a bit of scripting, whatever it is that feels really nice for you. Write down some goals, whatever you want, but do it from this place now of feeling more aligned and more abundant. And you can come back to this practice anytime you need a little tune up. So thanks again for practicing with me today, and have a beautiful day. Thank you.